Okay, folks, we've got more Donkey Kong Country. So enter the first water stage. I think a lot of people will probably wind up taking a liking to this tune in the game, mainly because it uses different instruments. It's not just your standard clicks and beeps and chirps, all that stuff. Super Nintendo had quite the sound capabilities, and it's definitely more so than the Nintendo Entertainment System. Now, even the Game Boy Advance did not have the sound capabilities of this, so if you were to play Donkey Kong Country on the Game Boy Advance, you're going to notice that it's just not as good. Really, the Nintendo 64, a lot of people will argue that it had nowhere near the capabilities that the PlayStation had, and the GameCube with the small discs did not have the capabilities of the Xbox or the PlayStation 2. So Nintendo kind of lost a few rounds with the sound type thing, but I still appreciate most music in the games I grew up with. It's one thing. There's some of them that I'm not quite as used to, like I'm not as used to the soundtrack in Donkey Kong Country 3 and Super Metroid, but I do appreciate these games nonetheless. I mean, there's just tons of them, really. Some of these lesser known things, well, compared to the highlights, anyways, they're all highlights. So, this is On Guard, if I haven't introduced him. It might be Enguarde, On Guard, but he's a swordfish that can pretty much take out most enemies. You'll be seeing him in virtually every water stage. So we're gonna meet Funky now. This is a Kong that I enjoy, but the main thing about him is his personality really doesn't go beyond the one spot that you see him. And that's in any of the Donkey Kong games. They don't really develop his character that much. They don't really develop Donkey Kong's character either. He doesn't really have much of a personality. We don't know if he likes, what foods he likes besides bananas, I mean, obviously he's just a gorilla, but, it would make the interesting type things. You gotta do it. For example, like Crash Bandicoot's sister was kind of like the computer whiz. These are just sorts of things that happen. It's more difficult with animals. This is the first real hard stage in the game, and I would anticipate that complete newcomers to this game are probably going to die a couple of times on this stage. These are the barrel cannons. What they do is they fire you at a rapid speed, and you're going to have to work on timing. That's one thing that's really key in playing this is timing. That's what it's all about. So it gets worse. If you don't master it now, you're going to have problems in the future. So we're going to use this TNT barrel, and we're going to open up the door. Now, if you absolutely must have more Donkey Kong, I would probably say to invest in the Mario vs. Donkey Kong series, because also in 1994 a new series was born where Nintendo remade the arcade Donkey Kong, and they also added basically 95-100 stages to the game along with it, and that's called Donkey Kong 94. Now, when they did that, Mario learned a bunch of new tricks, and he got his acrobatic abilities, and the whole thing about it was that it was just a blast to play. It was one of the best games for the Game Boy at the time. Really, I'd say it could directly compete with Pokemon if the difficulty didn't really ramp up. So I know, 6-year-olds, 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds can beat Pokemon, but Donkey Kong not so much. So, but this is Candy Kong. So there is a female character in Donkey Kong now, and you know, it's kind of, well, she will save your game. So that's the thing that you have to worry about. Very naughty. So this boss is gonna be, I mean, you don't really have to worry about him too much, but look at all the bananas he has. This just goes to show that Donkey Kong really liked them. It's definitely something that you're gonna get them back. You know, he's gonna have fun once he does have them all back, and that's what we've got this game to do. This is his quest. Now, normally, if you were to go to World 2, you would have to complete a couple more stages just to save. So I'm going to go back to World 1 and save, and then go to World 2, which you'll see next time. It's a good trick to do, is always go back to the prior world so you don't have to play through 2 or 3 more stages just to be able to save the game again. But be aware, we're only 11% done, so we're about 1/9 of the way done. And that, you'll see. Subscribe for more fun.